Think back to a single summer from your childhood. It went on forever, didn't it? The days stretched wide open. One afternoon felt like a small lifetime, and September lived somewhere on the other side of the world. Now think about this past year. You blinked and it was gone. Same 12 months, same 365 days, ticking at exactly the same speed. So why does a year feel like it's shrinking a little more every time it comes around? Here's the strange part. This isn't just a feeling. You're not getting boring or lazy or old. It's a quiet trick your brain has been running your whole life. And once you see how it works, you can fight back. Let's start with the simplest explanation. Back in 1877, a French philosopher named Paul Janet noticed something. A year isn't measured by a clock. It's measured against everything you've already lived. When you're 10, 1 year is a full tenth of your entire life. It's enormous. By the time you're 50, that same year is just 1/50th of your story, a thin little slice. So each year feels smaller than the last, because proportionally it is. It's elegant. It even has a name, Janet's Law. But here's where we stay honest. It's a metaphor, not a mechanism. It describes the feeling, yet it can't explain why some ordinary Tuesdays crawl while whole months vanish. For that, we have to look inside the brain. And inside the brain, the real answer appears. Your sense of how long something lasted isn't built from clock time. It's built from memory. Your brain doesn't save every moment. It saves what's new. The first time you did anything. Your first day at a new school. The first city you explored alone. Your first heartbreak. Your brain lit up and recorded it in high resolution. But the 1000th time you drive the same road to work, it barely writes anything down. When you were a kid, almost everything was a first. The whole world was new information, so your brain recorded constantly. As an adult, your days rhyme. Wake, commute, screen, sleep, repeat. And when your brain looks back and asks, how long was this year? It counts the memories, few new ones, and the year feels like it evaporated. Scientists actually caught this. In 2005, Mark Wittmann and Sandra Lenhoff surveyed 499 people, aged 14 to 94. For short stretches, an hour, a week, nobody felt much difference with age. But asked about the last 10 years, older people overwhelmingly felt those years had raced by. Time wasn't speeding up in the moment, it was collapsing in the rearview mirror. Neuroscientist David Eagleman pushed it further. He dropped volunteers into free fall, genuinely terrifying, completely new, and afterwards they swore the fall lasted far longer than it did. Yet in the moment, their perception hadn't actually sped up. The event only felt long looking back, because fear and novelty had packed it with memory. That's the secret. A rich period feels long in hindsight. An empty, repeated one feels like nothing at all. There's one more idea worth knowing, and it comes from physics. In 2019, a Duke University engineer named Adrian Bajan proposed something almost poetic. As we age, he argued, signals inside the brain travel down longer, more tangled, more worn pathways. They move a little slower. A baby's eyes flick around a room constantly, grabbing new mental images many times a second. An older brain grabs far fewer. And since we feel time through those changing images, fewer images per hour means time feels like it's slipping past faster. Now, to be clear, this one is still a hypothesis, not settled science, but it fits the same haunting pattern. The more automatic your mind runs, the faster the clock seems to spin. Which brings us to the true villain of this story. And it isn't age, it's autopilot. Modern life is almost perfectly built to erase itself. Home to work, work to phone, phone to bed. A loop so smooth your brain stops bothering to record it. Scroll for 2 hours and ask what you actually saw. Usually nothing. Those hours don't just vanish from your day, they vanish from your life, leaving no memory behind to prove they ever happened. That's not time flying. That's time never landing in the first place. So can you slow it down? You can't touch the clock. But you can change how much of your life you actually get to keep. First, break your roots. Take a different street home. Cook something you've never made. Novelty is the one thing that drags your brain out of autopilot and back into recording mode. It doesn't have to be big, it has to be new. Second, build tiny adventures. This is why 1 week of travel can feel longer than 3 months at your desk. It's stuffed with firsts. You don't need a plane ticket. A new corner of your city, a new hobby, a new face across the table will do it. Give your memory something to write down. Third, actually be there. When you eat, taste it. When someone talks, look at them. Attention turns your brain's resolution back up, and the moment stretches simply because you finally showed up for it. And fourth, put the phone down. Not forever, just enough that the empty scrolling stops quietly deleting your afternoons. Because here's the truth underneath all of it. Time isn't really speeding up. Not for anyone. The clock never changed. We just stopped noticing it. We traded 1,000 small firsts for one comfortable, invisible routine. And the good news hiding in that? A longer feeling life was never about more years. It was about more moments worth remembering. And those you can start collecting today. So here's what I'd love from you. Drop one thing in the comments, just one, that you'll do differently this week to wake your brain back up. A new route, a new food, a new anything. Because the more of those you gather, the longer and the fuller this one life is going to feel. This is equals Y. Go make something worth remembering.